One of the most extraordinary survival stories to come out of Monday's quake is that of Clint MConchie and his family. The Winton farmer was on an annual hunting trip. He, his family, children and a mate were staying in two huts in the Clarence Reserve on the inland side of the Seaward Kaikoura range when the quake hit.
My two daughters were in the same sort of low-roofed hut with us. We could not get to them, John. It threw us out of the bed. We held onto the hut. But my son and his friend, we go away for this hunting trip every year. We go for his birthday. They were down in another hut, and that hut collapsed. And once we finally got to my daughters and got my wife sorted, I ran down there, and there was we have a smoke alarm in the hut, and all I could hear was this bizarre noise in the high country. And then I realised it was this, and I thought the hut was on fire. So I was in my underpants, running for dear life to get to my son and his friend. And yeah, we got him and we pulled them out of there, and that was.
It's terrifying?
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. It's right up there.
And all of this was in the dark. And what sort of sounds were going on around you? Were there animals nearby?
Yeah, well, ironically enough, the Red Ferns had been mustering cattle for their big cattle muster, and there was about 200 head of Hereford cows below us, and they were bellowing and rolling through fences. A kilometre away from us was the Clarence River, and above that there's sort of mountains at 2,000 feet that fall down directly on a 35-degree angle, and the noise of the boulders splashing into the Clarence River was just terrifying. And the dust was something you'd never imagine to see. And the willow trees, the poplar trees that were surround an old hut, if you could imagine, 80 foot high, were cracking like stock whips. It was just a noise I'd never heard before in my life. I've heard a few noises and seen chimneys come down, but this was exceptional. So you can imagine rushing down to try and get these people off the river. Yeah.
Even as you describe it, it's stopping me in my tracks. I can't imagine what it would be like to be there. But those trees you describe, what did you say, cracking like stock whips, They were actually creating these sort of temporary dams in the Clarence, weren't they? And so the water was building up behind them, right, and perailing everyone who was down the river.
Well, that was our next. So basically we got picked up and sorted our families up. Guy flew us over to the homestead. He come and picked us up on the other side of Clarence, and then Guy said to me, right, Clint, we've got to go and find people. So we flew down in a wee Robinson 22 helicopter, and all of a sudden, because there were rafters and canoeists, so we were looking for people. And then we were flying down where his cattle were because of all his stock. You've obviously seen the photos of the Hereford cows stranded. We were in the back of that country. And we come over a hill, and we both said, holy bejeebers, and here's the Clarence dammed up. So the photos you've seen that have gone around the world, I took them out of the wee helicopter. So there are mountains have fallen into the river. It was something that we'll never see in our lifetime. It was just, so we flew right down and had a look at it, and then we had to, look for these people, and we stopped another group of rafters, so we flew straight for them in the river and stopped them in their tracks, and so the Red Ferns put them up as well. They stopped and opened up their house, and there was 14 rafters there, all in their late 60s.
So, Clint, sorry, forgive me for interrupting, because this is extraordinary, but they were still on the river, so they had no idea whatsoever of the absolutely life-threatening danger that was above them.
Totally. We flew down to look for stock and organise the Red Ferns' livelihood, and found the dam of the Clarence. So we turned around in a hell of a hurry and went up, and the rafters were coming down. So we flew straight into the river, there was a wee island, and right into the middle of the Clarence there was a wee bit, and Guy ran out and said, look, stop, don't go any further than home. And these people were all rescued out the next day, flown out in helicopters,
And what we know is that those dams, those temporary dams caused by the debris, the trees and the rocks and the rubble and the dirt gave way and a wall of water came down there. And had those rafters still been on that river, what would have happened?
Oh, you dare not to think. This is what you've got to take your head off to these helicopter pilots. Reed helicopters from Nelson, those guys, Toby. They went looking for these people. We were looking for them. Our friend who picked us up from Garden City Helicopters was in Ward. We were looking for them when I had my family in the machine, which was flying home. Everyone's looking out for everyone.
Clint, you're dropping names. You're saying name after name after name, and I know why you're doing that, because actually what you want to celebrate right now is the good stuff, right?
Oh, look. Yeah, it's. I can fly out from there, and I can go back and run my business. These people, the Redferns, their business whole model is they have no way to access their cattle over the Kaikoura Ranges now. These people are isolated. And what they've done for my family is, exceptional.
Clint MConchie, a lovely interview talking to us earlier.